the option of typing a question in chat window. This webinar is being recorded, as I already told you that I have already started the recording of this webinar, and we'll be sharing this recording with you for future reference. You can refer to our YouTube channel. We'll be providing you the link during the webinar, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can access the webinar recording out there. So my name is Rishika Omar and I am the marketing consultant for DevLabs Alliance. Now I'll move to this introduction part of our company, like who we are and what we do. So DevLabs Alliance is the leading provider of technical training and consulting services. So when I say technical training, here I will name some of our top trending trainings and workshops: SDET and automation, robotics, process automation, data science and machine learning, DevOps, blockchain, performance testing, and last but not least, soft skills. We have presence across various continents like Asia, Canada, USA. Also, we are having very rich pool of IT professionals, consultants, and advisors in the respective segments. For more information, you can visit our website. We'll be providing you the link of our website also in the chat window. Coming to the part wherein we'll tell you why you should choose us over the competition. Practical workshop is one of it with zero theory. Our sessions are completely hands on with use cases and assignment oriented. We have limited batch size so that you get the focused attention. Very small batch size we have, and everybody gets the focused attention on the sessions. Our trainers are subject matter experts, and they are basically the real time industry experts. Then, last but not the least, latest course curriculum. Our course curriculum is designed as per the industry standards. So we have today we are running a special offer. This slide is basically for the people who wants to enroll for the course today itself. So we have this offer running till 15th of January. We are offering special 10% discount on the course fees, which is already discounted. And for the webinar attendees, it is again 10% discount on the discounted price we are offering. So our team is sharing the link with you on the chat window for that you can copy the code from there and you can enroll for the course with special 10% discount. Now, would like to give a very quick introduction about a trainer. But before that, I'll tell you that our course is going to start from 15th of January. Next course is going to start. And this will be the weekend classes. There'll be the weekend classes only. And you can check out the timings out here. I've mentioned in the slides. So guys, I've provided the link also in the slide. That link will be shared with you over the chat window from the team, and you can click on that link and check the details of the upcoming classes and the batch, which is going to start from 15th of Jan. So our trainer, Vignesh is basically having close to around very rich experience on this field, and I'll not take much time of yours, and I'll would like to transfer it to Vignesh. Vignesh, please take this forward with the agenda.
Yeah, thanks, Rishika. And
Yeah.
this is Vignesh, and I have totally 13 plus years of experience with testing, mostly with automation, I can say. Yeah, so good morning and good evening, everyone. Let's get started, okay? So today topic is very interesting, and so it will be like one of a, I can say like kind of a good topic to discuss, and so this will be quite useful, like if you're working or like if you're new to automation or like if you are new to industry, like so how to prepare for an interview and how we are going to go further, okay? This topic is quite useful for everyone, okay? It's not only for the automation specialist, or like it's not only for who is new to the field. So this is dedicated to everyone, okay? So might be like I'm sharing my screen. Okay, like hopefully everyone able to see it. Yeah. So the first we're going to discuss about like how to prepare for an interview. Okay. So if it is an automation interview, like how to master yourself. It's not only for interview. So how you can equip like your skills before the interview. Okay. So what are the things you need to learn to get into an automation world? Okay. That's what like we are going to discuss in today's topic. Okay. So primarily like the agenda will be like, so we're going to discuss about various things, okay, about programming, automation tools, then frameworks, then source management tools, CI/CD tools, then API database, then important programming questions, okay, like might be like small programs, like what frequently asked programs I can say, and like then how to prepare a resume, cover letter, and so the other things like GitHub and LinkedIn profiles. Okay, so let's get into it, guys. Okay, so before into it, okay, so to be a successful automation engineer, so you need to know at least one programming language. That's a mandatory. Okay, so you can be like working on different automation tools, like or manual tools in like in a life. But in order to do any automation, okay, like so we need to know at least one programming language. There are a lot of other automation tools available in the market, like where you don't need to write a lot of programs, but those tools are very limited, and the opportunity is very limited. Okay, so I can say like out of 10, like one or two companies might be like using those kind of tools, like where we don't require any coding skills. But the 80% of the companies will look for the person who has a coding skills. Okay, and to know one thing, okay, if you are able to code, then you can able to learn the other tools as well. Like that's a ground rule. Okay, and in order to learn it, okay, there are, see, it depends on your mindset. Okay, like what tool you need, what is the demand. Okay, so like there are, I can say like out of four programming language, you can try to concentrate any one. Okay, the primary will be Java, then we have a Python, then JavaScript and C sharp. Okay. So I can say like these four leads the automation stable. Okay, so Java, I can say like it's pioneer in the market. Okay, and so then like JavaScript, it's upcoming, and Python and JavaScript, I can say like it's equally in demand now. And C sharp depends on the region. If the people are like on US, I can say like C sharp is very much demand. Okay, suppose the team is from India, or like then I can say like it uh, JavaScript and Java is on demand. Okay, and especially on European countries, like I'm not sure like whether you guys anyone from European countries like Germany, UK. So Python is the key there actually. So it, I can say like it's again depends on the region. Even Australia, there are a lot of people like are preferring Python actually. Like a lot of projects preferring Python. So again, depends on the region. You can do a research. Okay, like you can go to a LinkedIn and search for a job description. Okay, so what programming language they are looking. Okay, and you can start learning it. Again, uh, the next good thing is like if you learn one programming very well, okay, programming language very well, so you can able to learn others on your own. So you don't require a lot of skills or techniques to do it. But you need to know this concept. Okay, if you're sound in the below concept, definitely like you can able to work on other programming language as well. So only ground rule is like you want to know these things very well. Okay, so how to write, okay, the basics. Okay, so the first, because as mentioned earlier, like we need to be very strong on the basics, because so automation, in order to learn any automation tool, this language will be the key. Okay, so the first thing like we primarily we need to concentrate on the looping and conditional statements. Okay, so how the looping will work, how where we can use a conditional statements. Okay, this will be like you need to imply the logical thinking. So where to implement the loops and how to come out of it, like what are the conditional statement used. So this will be like key for any programming language. And so without this, you can't even write or you can't even imagine an automation tool. Suppose, let's take a simple example. Okay, so I want to like log in Facebook 10 times or 20 times. So definitely like we are going to use a loop. and there is a country drop down. Okay, so I want to select some value from it. Okay, might be like I want to select uh China from it. Okay, so like I want to list down all the values. When it reaches China, I'm going to stop it. Okay, so that we have a loop and we have a conditional statements like if the value is equal to China, we are going to click. So we have both loops and conditional statements. Okay, so this will be there for almost everywhere. Okay, and for example, you want to validate anything. Okay, suppose like you want to verify the page title is this. Again, we can use a conditional statement. If the page title is that, so we can make it as pass, else we can give it as file. Okay, we can use an assert also, but again, the assert will works based on the if conditions. Okay, so that will be key for any programming language. Okay, and then like we need to concentrate on the strings. Okay, so right, like in a modern day world, if you're automating a website or a desktop application, so most likely we are going to like add the values in the strings. Okay, so 90% of for the values will be on a string, unless if you're into banking or like if you're dealing with pricing or rules, so then might be like we will be doing a lot of numbers manipulations. Okay, so if not, like mostly the values will be on a string basis. Okay, so you want to know like how to operate a string. Okay, so how to get a substring, how to find an index, and how to manipulate a string. Okay, so all this you want to know. Like these are the interview questions they might ask you at the time of interview too. So that might be a few questions like, okay, so might be like from a given string I need to get only the numbers. So you want to be comfortable in exploring all these topics. Okay, like kind of strings. Okay, string manipulation will be key for any programming languages. Okay, then arrays. Okay, so if you're working on Java, Python, like C sharp, JavaScript, arrays will be the key. In Python we don't have arrays actually. So arrays is nothing but for a single data like variable we are going to have a multiple data, so that's called as an arrays. Okay, so we need to know how to handle data and how to store it and how effectively we can use it. Okay, so this will be useful for like storing multiple values. Okay, arrays will be used. Okay, and again, exception handling will be key for all the programming language. If you're writing underlines of code, that might be like cases like we have an issue on 20th line or 30th line, so we need to know how to handle it. Okay, so we have the try catch block. So each one has a different things. Okay, in Python it's try expect block. So the logic remains the same, only like the naming conventions will differ from each languages, but the logic wise, like whatever you're going to try it, like that will be in a try block, and whatever you have the exceptions you are going to catch in a catch block or expect block. Okay, so that depends, that varies based on the programming language. So that's again one of the key thing so you want to know. And so I can say like you want to be well versed in this exception handling to be a effective programmer. If you want to build a regression suite, or if you want to build a automation suite in unattended mode, this exception handling will be the key. Because while automating a website, that might be cases. Okay, so you'll be getting a drop down or like that will be cases. Okay, so even like last class. Okay, there is one student asked me about. Okay, so whenever he is logging to a website, okay, like it is navigating to certain page. Okay, so sometimes the other times like it is navigating to different field, so you don't know how to handle it. So we need to try whether that particular page is there. If that particular page is there, we can handle with the try. If not, like we can do like we can go over. So we need to know like how exactly might be a pop-up. So we have a and like a pop-up in the middle. So we can expect that pop-up will come or not. If we have that, we are going to click, else we are going can come out. So like we need to be efficient at handling an exceptions. Okay, so that will be key for an automation. Okay, and so this will be one of a very important topic. So you want to concentrate in order to be an expert on a language. So you need to know the OOPS concept. Okay, object oriented programming concept. This will be very much useful for designing a framework and like implementing it. Okay, so again I can subdivide this based on experience case. Okay, suppose if you are a candidate who is less than 5 years of experience. Okay, so you can just know the basics of each. Okay, so might be like 5 to 10. Okay, so you want to know like both theoretically and you want to know how to implement it. 10 plus years, definitely like you want to know at least two programming language. Okay. So you want to know like how to implement it, and you should have a working proof in a GitHub, like kind of creating a framework, all this. Okay. So I can say like it differs based on experience as well. Okay. So whatever we are seeing, okay, like all this are important for all criterias people. Okay. But for example, if you are into less than 5 years of experience, you just want to know the basics. Okay, so how it works. Okay, again, if you are able to like implement it, it's you are, again say like you are pro guy on that particular field. Okay, so the 5 to 10, again like it depends on like how we are going to like implement those and have the working proofs in a GitHub. Okay, and if you have more than 10 years experience, according to the market demand, at least like you want to know two programming languages. Okay, so but again, if you know one, you can able to easily learn others on your own, so that won't be a thing. Okay, so in order to write a framework, okay, so you need to implement or you need to understand this concept. So what is inheritance, what is polymorphism, abstraction, interfaces, encapsulation. Okay, so all this you want to know, at least like one liners, so how it works, so how we can implement it. Okay, so you want to know a very good understanding on a class, object, okay, how to interact with different classes and different types of access modifiers. Okay, so how I can able to access the content from a different file. So because see, in a real world, okay, you will be working on a team. Okay, like suppose I am your team member. Okay, I can work on a single module. And for example, I'm working on a login model. You are working on a home page. Someone is working on a logout page. So you don't need to like again copy the files in your code. Okay, so you will be having a three different modules, three different pages. So you're going to combine these three and we are going to execute it. So for that, we are going to use the inheritance concept. Okay, so see, so in a real world also, like we will have these things. Okay, so you want to correlate these concept into a like technical things. Okay, so inheritance is nothing but we are going to derive something from a parent, that is called as an inheritance. Okay, so for example, like you have, if you have a property, so that property like you can use it. So it's if it is if the parent belongs to parent, you have the full rights to use it. So those kind of things, like so you can relate correlate with the real world, so it will be very easy. Okay, so anyhow, like we are going to see all this in our upcoming sessions, guys. Okay, so this is just an intro. Okay, so then collections. Okay, so this is one of, again, because so everything it deals with the data, right? Okay, so even in automation world, so we'll be dealing with a lot of data. Okay, how, so for example, we will not use the same data again and again. So in even that's the same case with manual, right? So for example, if you want to test an application, every time we will have a different data. So we will have the boundary value based on that, like we will have the data, so our data set will change. So in order to effectively manage it, so we'll be using the concept called collections. Okay, so collection is nothing but like it's able to manipulate the data and stimulate, I can say like how you're going to effectively store and manipulate it. Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about list, set, and map. Okay, so we are going to see like how the list is formed and what is the architecture of it. Okay, and how the set interface looks like. Okay, so this will differs. Okay, so in diction, like Python will be calling as a dictionary instead of map. But see, logic remains the same. The certain set list and set is there. In Python, we have something called tuple. In JavaScript, like we have list and set. Okay. So even in C sharp, we have it. Okay. So see, if you are able to learn one programming language, you can able to easily adapt to it. But you, I can say like in order to at least like to be an expert on that particular field. Okay, so you want to know at least like tick these 5 to 6 components, whatever we have discussed here. So this will be very much useful for the programming language. Okay. So any doubts till this, guys? Like if you have any questions, might be like I can take that on this part. Might be like you can ping in the chat. Okay. I hope there is no questions. Okay. So guys, you are able to hear me? I guess there is someone is pinging. They could not able to hear. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Guys, if
Yeah, there is
anyone
some
is
issue
able
with
to hear,
Yeah,
Sorry to finish in between. If somebody is not able to hear out, you can, rejoin the meeting. You can drop and rejoin the meeting.
yeah. Margaret, like you can try to rejoin. Okay, so I guess please rejoin. Okay, yeah. So let's jump into the next one. Okay, so and then we can see like what are the automation tools available in a market, the popular ones. Okay, so I just took the popular ones currently, like demanding tools of 2023. Okay, there are a lot of other tools. Okay, but so we took what is the prime tools for 2023. And because see like so if you're going to learn a certain tool, so at least for next 5 years, it need to be in a market. Okay, so we kept those tools in a like in a mind while selecting it. Okay, so like so we have, so I can say like again we can classify the automation tools in two areas. Okay, one is open source and this one is paid versions. Okay, so like again like so in open source market, still Selenium will lead the stage, guys. Okay, even though there are a lot of alternatives in a market, still Selenium is pioneer in a market. So I can say like it will be there at least for next 5 to 10 years. Okay, because there is no alternative for Selenium as of now. Okay, so even though there are like a lot of tools close to it, but nothing beats Selenium. Okay, so nothing able to cross it. Okay, so I can say like even if you don't know Selenium, this is the right time to start learning it. Okay, and you won't regret. At least for like next 5 to 6 years, it will be in high demand. At least like for 10 years, so you can able to survey with Selenium. Okay, then we have Appium. So Appium is again like it's a wrapper of Selenium. So basically like we are going to automate the mobile devices. Okay, the Selenium we are going to automate the web-based application, and with Appium we are going to used for automating the mobile devices. So you can able to automate both iOS and Android. We don't have Windows right now, but still, if you have any old Windows mobile, so still it can able to automate that as well. So basically, like Windows mobiles are not exist now. So like I can say like predominantly like iOS and Android can be automated with Appium. The good thing about these two tools is like so it can able to support all the popular programming language. So whatever we have seen, Java, Python, C Sharp, JavaScript. Okay, so almost it takes all the programming languages. Okay, so I can say like if uh I can say like I want to go with an open mind. I don't want to do any research. So you can go ahead and join Selenium. Or okay, so because so out of 10 company, 10 company will look for Selenium. Okay, so I can say like Selenium will be the primary skill for all 10 companies. Okay, even though like if the company is looking for Cypress or Playwright, so initially like they would have done the automation on Selenium, and still Selenium is there. Okay, that won't be like no company will say like I don't need a Selenium resource, because if you know Selenium, the other is you can able to learn it. Okay, so I can say like Selenium is base for every other tools like Cypress or Playwright. Okay, even though the working style is different, but if you know like Selenium, with your logical thinking you can able to learn Cypress or Playwright within few weeks. Okay, so then comes the like modern day tools. Okay, so we have two modern day tools like Cypress and Playwright. Okay, again both are open source. Okay, like Cypress we have a paid version as well, but we can able to do with the open source like whatever we need to automate. Okay, we don't need to pay for it. So basically like we're going to use JavaScript or TypeScript for Cypress. So it can able to automate the web-based application. And so basically like we're going to use Cypress for automating a latest websites, like whichever is built on AngularJS or React.js. So like Cypress will be more effectively able to automate those things. And even if your sites are pretty old, even Cypress can do it. There's no ground rule, like it will only work for a old websites. Okay, but so effectively they started using Cypress for automating the like newer application which is built on AngularJS or React.js. Okay, compared to Selenium, Cypress will be very faster. Okay, and it has a lot of limitations. Okay, so it does not support cross browser like testing. Okay, like so in Selenium it supports almost all the popular browsers. Here it is limited. Okay, so it supports Chrome, Firefox. That's it. Okay, like so it does not support Opera or Safari, like there is a limitation on it. And Cypress, if you're working on multiple windows or multiple tabs, Cypress does not support. Okay, so we have an alternative solution for it, but in-house it does not support. There is again a limitation with it. So you can say like Cypress is emerging. Again, so it's still baby on the world. I can say like in automation world, it's still a kid. I can say. So might be like at least like it will take 1 or 2 years to evaluate further. But I can say like if you want to again learn the new tool or trending tool, and if you want to like get more salary to it, might be like you can choose Cypress and Playwright, and so that will be again a demanding thing. So then the Playwright again, like it's from Microsoft, so this is getting recently like it's more popular, it's becoming a more popular tool in a market. And so I can say like it's a closest comparison to Selenium. Like again, the architecture wise it's totally different, guys. Okay, so I'm just in the layman terms I'm telling, okay, because it supports almost like popular programming languages, Java, Python, C Sharp, okay, JavaScript. So it supports all the programming languages. And so we can able to automate like both web and APIs with it. Again, we can use for cross-browser testing. So compared to Cypress, like it supports like window handling. So all this, it ticks the table of Cypress, but a Playwright does not have a very good documentation, guys. Okay, so out of these tools, if you want to rate via documentation, so Playwright will be the last. Okay, so you don't get a lot of supports on the internet as well, but I can say like it will be the next tool. Okay, if you want to learn something new, and like you want to like be unique in that particular field, I can say like Playwright will be the tool, like you can prefer it. Definitely, like it has all the potential to be a like pioneer in the market. Okay, so currently like these two are kids in the stage, but if you want to like be a king in the field, Selenium will be the first choice. If you want to dedicatedly work on mobile devices, or like kind of devices oriented, might be tab, all this, so then you can learn Appium. Okay, so Appium and Selenium, it will be very much similar, only the setup will be different. But like if you learn more, like you can able to adapt it. The other two are like quite different, but those two are like quite new in the market. Okay, so then we have a commercial tools. Okay, like so these three are most popular ones. Out of that, like Tosca is leading a stage. So again, Tosca, like we will be going for a non-commercial tool when we need to automate desktop applications. Okay, like because so mostly like we'll be automating the web-based applications using the open source tools, but there are some limitations. Okay, like in order to automate a mainframes or a desktop application, these tools like Selenium, Appium will not be effective. So for that, so we'll be going with a non-commercial, like commercial tools. Okay, like Tosca, we have Test Complete, we have UFT. There are multiple tools like Eggplant. There are multiple tools, but I can say like I cherry picked the top three tools, so which you can learn. Okay, so in that I can say like Tosca will be the king in this field actually. Like UFT was there, so to be I can say like I started my career with UFT. Okay, so if you are a guy like who is 10 to 15 years back, you started a IT career, you would have heard about QTP or UFT. Okay, that was the pioneer on those stage a decade ago. Like if anyone asked about so which automation tool, so everyone would have told about UFT. But now it was nowhere in the market. Sadly, like I can say like 5 to 10% of companies still using it, but lot of companies migrated from UFT. And so we have similar to it, like we have a test complete tool. So again, it's commercial, and so we can able to automate like as mentioned desktop, mobile and web applications. And so we will be using VB script. We can use VB script for this two things, like UFT and test complete. And the top one, Tosca, it's an interesting tool. Okay, we don't need to write any coding for it. Okay, that's one of like good thing about the Tosca. Like we don't need to write any coding for it, and it's one of a very popular tool in an automation world. Okay, like for example, if you're a guy, you don't need to you're not interested to write any code and you want to switch your career to automation, so you can prefer using Tosca. Okay, but again, so the license cost is very huge, guys. So this tool will be used by top companies. Okay, might be like top financial organization, like almost like all the banks are using it. Okay, so starting from Bank of America, Citibank, so almost all the companies are using it. Okay, so like if you are into, like for example, kind of uh looking for a job in a middle level or like startup companies, this will not be the case of Tosca. But if you're working on, like if you're looking for, like you can able to join the top ITs, like top MNCs, then Tosca you can learn it. Okay, Tosca is also an interesting type, but like to sorry guys. So I can say like out of these commercial tools, I can my vote will be for Tosca. So if you want to learn Tosca, you can still prefer to learn it. Okay. So this is on the tools case. Okay. Like these are the tools available. Okay. So popular tools I have picked it. And framework, guys. Okay. So this is one of a very effective topic. Okay. So at least you want to know how the frameworks looks. Okay, so this will be key for explaining to the like interviewer. Okay, so what framework you use, how, like your the framework is nothing but, okay, so how you are going to organize a test in simple word. Okay, so like it's like organizing your test, that's it. Okay, so how you are going to have the test data, how you are going to have the locators, so what type of reporting you are going to have, so how to maintain the folder structures, if the test case fails, where you're going to have the screenshot. So all this will become in the framework. Okay. So so you want to know, okay, how you are going to maintain all this. Okay. So from, okay, so be it a simple test case. Okay. So consider your manual test, you're going to convert to automation. Okay. So what will be the precondition? So like before this particular scenario, what will be a precondition? What we are going to do afterwards? So how we are going to report it? So where the data is going to come? So you want to tick all this. Okay. So mostly the team will be using a hybrid framework. So hybrid framework means it's a combination of more than one. So that we will be calling as a hybrid framework. Okay. So this like just an explanation, guys. Okay, linear means like it's kind of one to one, just a step by step process. So modular means like we'll be having a lot of functions. Okay, and data means data driven is nothing but we're going to have a data in form of Excel sheets or CSV file. From there we're going to take it. So all this, okay, keyword driven means like we'll be having a predefined keywords and we're going to call it in actions and setups. Okay, so like on the whole we are going to combine everything and we're going to have as a hybrid framework. Okay, so that's a effective way of it. Okay, because like we can achieve everything in a hybrid framework. Okay, so like most of the companies will have a very good effective framework. Okay, so like if you're new in the automation world, like you can learn it, but you will have the framework almost ready before you joining a company. Okay, so I can say like a very limited candidate will have a face that scenario. Like I can say like out of 100%, like 5% of candidates can have this scenario. So there is no automation in the company, might be like you are the first person to implement it. So that might be a very rare scenario, but so you'll have an existing framework. So you will be working on that enhancement or you will be using it. Okay. So it will not be a big topic to discuss, but this will be one of a key for entry. Okay. So you want to like know how you are effectively managing a framework, how to use the data from it, how to like organize it. Okay, so all this we need to know. Okay, so we'll be having a clear session, guys, like on that. Okay, so then like this is kind of a design pattern, like how we're going to implement these things. Okay, so TDD and BDD. So TDD is nothing but a test driven development and BDD is nothing but a behavioral driven development. Okay, so how we are going to effectively manage our thing. Okay, so like in agile world, this will be one of the key thing. Okay, so there are a lot of times like we are not going to involve, okay, manual testing, or like we'll be involving a manual resources in automation. So for this, like this TDD and BDD will be like kind of more like into it. Okay, so right, like in behavioral driven development is it from agile world, like will be like we can use in a given then statements, like whatever we have an acceptance criteria, so we'll be using those statements and we'll be yeah using that to write our test cases. Okay, so we'll not have our manual test cases in place. So instead of that, we'll be writing in a Gherkin feature lines in a form of feature file, and then like we'll be creating a step definition. Like that's our Java code associating it. Whereas in case of a TDD, so it's just we'll be using a test annotations, and we'll be writing our scripts. Okay, so each like here we will have one more layer in case of a BDD. In TDD we will not have it. That's the only difference. Okay, so again, like so whatever we have discussed in this slide, okay, the hybrid framework, hybrid, okay, so that will be implemented in this text driven or behavior driven. So we'll be combining all together, and we'll be providing a good effective framework, guys. Okay, so we can see this. Okay, so like we'll be discussing about the TDD or a BDD. Okay, so we'll be discussing in the course. Okay, and source management tools. Okay, so this is again one of a very important topics. Okay, so how effectively we are going to store our data. Okay, store our okay things. So now we are creating our files. Okay, like so for example, okay, I'm working on my system, I'm doing it. Similarly, like XYZ person will be working on a system. Okay, so how you're going to combine those codes, okay, and where you're going to store it. Tomorrow I want to run my code from a different machine, so how it is possible. Okay, so for that, so we're going to use this source management tools. Okay, so we have at least two popular options here as well. So we have a Git and we have a Subversion. Okay, so we have some companies still using Mercurial and Perforce. Perforce is very limited because it's a commercial. Okay, the mostly out of Git and Subversion, like SVN. Okay, Subversion is nothing but SVN. The people will be using. So, but nowadays I can say like 80%, 70 to 80% people are using Git. Okay, started using it. The Subversion is quite old in this era, but still few companies might have used it. Okay, might can use it. Okay, so it's the architecture which is different. Gates. Okay, the Git is a distributed version, whereas Subversion is a centralized version. So distributed version means I can say like we'll be having one working copy. Okay, at least. Okay, so for example, you will have one like working file. Like if you have 5 team members, you will have it. You will be working on a branches, 5 different branches. At last, you'll be merging it. Whereas in case of Subversion, okay, so it's just like a Google Drive. Okay, everyone will have access to that particular folder. So if anyone updates, they can update it. Then other person we need to like take the new version and use it. Okay, so it is a centralized version, like there is no copies available. Whereas in case of Git, we'll have multiple copies. Okay, we can have it and we can like merge at the later. So the architecture wise, both are different. Okay, so but this okay, like again, so the Git is very popular. So at least I can say like 70 to 80% of companies are using it. Okay, so in this again, like we have few tools like okay, so the popular Git tools we have something called GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab. Okay, so all this are very popular. Okay, even you can try this. Okay, like for example, if you are working and if you want to show to the anyway we are going to discuss this at last. Okay, but so if you are working and you want to show or like you want to put some code base and so you want to highlight of in a resume, so you can create an account or GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket, and you can put it on a resume so that like the recruiters will have a cache and so like your profile will be like preferred over the others. Okay, so anyhow we are going to discuss that in future. Okay, so how effectively you can create the resumes and these things. Yeah, so again like this is a popular things tools, and so any one at least you need to go, guys. Like so other if you know one, the rest will looks very much similar, and the command line almost the same for every tool. Okay, there is no differences between a Git or a Bitbucket or GitLab, so every the command line is same. Okay, so if you know one, the others it's I can say like it's kind of replica. I can say like eye to eye comparison. Okay, so there is no differences on it. Okay, and this is one of a key topic in today's world. Okay, so CI/CD. Okay, so CI/CD is nothing but a continuous integration and continuous delivery. So I hope everyone will be working closely with the developers or in agile world. Okay, so like that might be a lot of cases like once the code is deployed, so we'll be running a sanity. Okay, so this CI/CD tools is going to help you to trainers on its own. Okay, so automate that the full integration and delivery process. Okay, so when the developers deploys anything, so we're going to have our scripts in place, and those scripts we're going to run it. It's going to automatically run it, and it's going to send us a report if there is any failure. It's going to roll back the commits. Okay, that's how the CI/CD will work. Okay, again, we have a lot of popular tools available in the market like Jenkins, GitLab, Azure DevOps, like Circle CI, Travis CI. Okay, there are a lot of tools in the market. Okay, so in this, like Jenkins and Azure DevOps whole stage here as well, guys. Okay, so the popular options will be like Jenkins. I would have like you guys would have heard about Jenkins in almost a lot of cases. Jenkins is very popular in this world. Again, see, so there are other tools like Circle CAS, Travis said, like it's cloud based. Even Azure DevOps, it's a cloud based tools like so you can use it like Jenkins and GitLab. So you need to have the hosting platform to host it. Okay, so that's the main differences. Each tool has the pluses and its own pros and cons. So out of this, you want to know anyone in order to be an effective so in order to be clearing an interview, like so you need to know at least one. So preference will be like Jenkins or Azure DevOps based on my experience. But again, like so based on the region, whatever you specifically live, so might be you can do a research around it and do it based on my students and based on like because my students lives in variety of countries and I've been training the resources. So based on my experience, I have listed down these tools. Okay, so this is also one of the topics you need to learn for interview. Okay, so then like the next one you need to concentrate is on a API, how. Okay, because nowadays, like right, API is one of a mandatory in a testing world. Okay, because we could not able to do all the scenarios on UI, like kind of lot of negative scenarios on UI. So for that, like we are going to primarily concentrate on API testing. So what are the tools you want to learn? Okay, so in order to do, like again say, like again I will go with the groups case. Okay, so if it is 1 to 5, so the persons like less than 5 can concentrate on API testing. At least you want to know how exactly the APIs works. And so might be like manual tools, at least like Postman and SOPI, you can learn it. Okay. Um, if you're able to learn, rest assured, you're well and good. But if you're not able to learn, so less than 5 years, it's not mandatory, guys. Okay. So you can still have an option. Like you can say like I just started, or like so I know manually, but I did not get a chance to work. You can say that. But if you are more than 5 years of experience, like 6 or more than that. Okay, so definitely like you need to have, yeah, working automation experience on API. Because the last 2 years I can say like a lot of companies started investing or like in the API automation, and almost like the majority of testing done on API layer only. So I can say like if you're automating 10 scenarios, 6 to 7 scenarios we are predominantly automating on API layer, and 3 to 4 scenarios we are constantly like on UI. So most of the negative scenarios or most of the like high level scenarios, like kind of integration testing kind of interface, so all this are done on a API layer. So only the UI testing, or like to know the look and feel, the UI testing is able to like kind of end-to-end testing. Okay, so even regression is done on API. There are a lot of advantages. Okay, the API testing will be very fast, and API testing has a lot of, okay, adds a lot of value to the customer as well. Okay, like we can manipulate a lot of data. And if the UI taking 10 minutes means we can able to run API within minute, so even with less than that. Okay, and and it will be like, because that now we can have a lot of negative data. So for example, if it for 10 scenarios, if it takes 1 hour means like here within a minute we're going to do it. And the coding also, like it will be very less compared to it. So we don't need to like do a lot of screen locators, and it will be like early in a stage before the UI is ready, we can able to do a API, and API testing will be in place. So there are a lot of advantages to do a API testing. And sometimes still, like the people are using the API testing for setting up the data and using it. Okay, so this is one of the prime Like if you're into new in automation field, definitely like you can start learning it. So this will be, I can say like next 5 to 10 years. So this will be key, guys. Okay. So at least for next 5 years, I don't want to give long-term commitment. At least for next 5 years, the API testing will be the key. Okay. So you want to know how effectively led to the test a API. So what are the API methods? So how the post call works, how the get call works. Okay. So what are the different types of status codes available? So what is authentication or the authorizations? What is the difference between it? So all this you guys want to know what. Okay. So then so we can see about a database. Okay. So again, database testing is like again it's kind of an optional things, guys. Okay. Optional for less than 5 years, and like after if you cross 5 years, so you want to have everything in your profile, guys. Okay. So like how like that again database testing, you want to know like the basics how the SQL works. Like you want to know the DDL DML commands. Okay. Like the inner joins, outer joins, the queries. Okay. Like aggregate functions, distinct. Okay. All this the common things. Okay. So you want to know again, see, like you want to know how you can connect to a database and how you can manipulate the value from it, and what like how you're going to get it. So this database testing you will be using for data mining purpose. Okay. Like for example, I want to use certain data from like kind of I want account numbers whose status is active or whose status is closed. So how you can do it, so might be like you want to research from a database. Okay. So you will be doing a query, or like you will be mining a data from a database and you'll be using in a script. So definitely like we need to have the database knowledge. Okay. So we need to know like at least we need to know to write a basic queries. Okay. Like joins, so like writing group by, order by, and using a distinct function to get the unique data. Like so all this like kind of you need to know like functions. Okay. Like how to get similar data from the list table. So all this it's mandatory in a database testing, guys. Okay. So see, I'm not talking about ETL testing. Okay, that's a separate topic, guys. Okay, that's a separate world, like ETL automation or ETL testing. Okay, so that's a separate one. So I'm just concentrating on a high level how we can do a database testing. Okay, so how we can connect to a database, how to establish a JDBC connectivity, and how to do it. Okay, so those things like are the mandatory things here, guys. Okay, so then popular interview questions. Okay, like how you can prepare for an interview. Okay, so see, so again, I would have touched this topic earlier as well. So primarily like we need to concentrate with the string manipulation, guys. Okay, that will be it's a nowadays it's irrespective of a region. Okay. So I can see like the people are asking to share the screen or like giving a paper to write the programs. Okay. So this is they can sort this out. Okay. For example, if you're able to write the program, so I can say like you have crossed 50%. Okay, of the interview. So I can say like this is one of a deciding factor for interview. So you want to know like how to write a program. So there are a lot of popular sites available to refer it. Even I can give you few as well. Okay, there is something called W3 schools. Okay, not schools. Okay, it's W3 resources. Okay, so we have a dedicated programs questions. Okay, like I can show you that particular site. So okay, this site you can refer, like it has a lot of exercises. Okay. So irrespective of language. Okay, so this has a lot of things. Okay, like how to use a strings, all this. Okay, so we have a lot of programs associated to it. Okay, so we can have a look on this particular site. Okay, and so you want to know see how effectively. So from my experience. Okay, from my students interview experience. Okay, so the first definitely like there will be one few short questions on string manipulation, guys. Okay, so I just listed down few, but there are a lot of questions. Okay, so like even they can ask you in your name. Okay, so I just want to replace I with a. So they can ask you. Okay, I just want to remove the vowels alone. Okay, so it can be anything. Okay, so whatever comes in the mind they can ask you. Okay, but like few are like string reversal, like finding a duplicate, removing a duplicate value, extracting a numbers from a string, just get the count of vowels, consonants, like counting the number of occurrences of the character. So all this swapping, like if you have a two strings, okay, like might be like I just want to get the duplicate value from each string, okay. Like for example, like I have India and the next gen is China, means like I want to remove like whatever is duplicated. So those kind of questions they can ask you. Then like array, okay. So this is on strings. Array is like again how we are going to effectively manage a huge number of data. So it again sorting an array, ascending or descending order. So finding a largest number, second largest number, third largest, like that they can list on the question smallest numbers, okay. So addition of arrays, okay, so they can ask you these kind of questions. Okay. So collections again. So collections is okay. Like you can use collections everywhere, guys. In order to minimize your coding knowledge or coding skills, okay. So you can use the collections, okay. Like so it has a lot of inbuilt methods, inbuilt functions available. We can effectively use it. Okay. So again, there will be asking list of questions like so I need to manipulate a list. Okay, like I need to add a content from a list or remove a content. How to do it? So all this we can try. Might be a converting array to array list. So these are the things, and some of the templated questions like Fibonacci series, Armstrong number, prime or not, palindrome, factorial of a number. Okay, patterns printing like star, 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 kind of. So they will be giving some pattern unprinted. Okay, swapping a numbers with two variables. Okay, all this templated entry questions. Okay, so I can say like out of 10, like might be 3 to 4 interviews might be at least one of these questions can be they can ask you. Okay, so again, so I won't say like like college this is important or that is important. Okay, if you know the logic how to implement it, you can implement on your own, guys. Okay, so I won't say like as a beginner you can start preparing this, but if you cross like that expertise level, so you need to like have the mindset on writing a program on your own. Okay, you don't need to refer it. Okay, so yeah, for initial purpose I can say like this is like you can start with this kind of program, but once you cross those lines, so like you need to start manipulating it. Okay, and this is one of a very important process, guys. Okay, so like so far we have seen or we have covered what is how you can concentrate on interview. Okay, so these topics, so in order to get shortlisted for a job, okay, or in order to get a call from a company, you need to follow this. Okay, you need to have a well drafted resume. Okay, so again, I'm not going to give you like how the resume looks or something like that. So make sure like whatever you're given on the resume, you know that particular thing. Okay. So just try to remove the unwanted information in a resume. So like unwanted tools or techniques, like whatever used. So all the data like whatever you know, okay, and try to okay, so have it in an attractive way. So I can say like so if you have okay the achievements you can specify, okay, the certifications, the achievements, and if you are a team lead, like if so how many team members you have managed, okay, like whether you got any appreciations for it, okay, kind of awards, recognition from the company. Okay, just try to highlight all this information on the resumes, guys. Okay, so because so nowadays, okay, like in order to because the first level, so most of the companies uses okay kind of filtering, okay, like there are a lot of AI is available to filter the content from the resume. For example, like if 10 persons are applying for a job, okay, like they don't want to interview 10 folks, okay, they will be like picking two resumes. Okay, there are a lot of AI tools available to pick the best two resumes and project it. Okay, so you need to have that in order to like pick for interview itself. Okay, you need to have the well drafted resume. Okay, and the cover letter. Okay, like so this will be kind of one line page, like so it describes like what you know and what might be. I will quickly show again. This differs like the ranges, guys. Okay, so might be like this is my cover letter. Okay, so again like so whatever information you need, you can have it. Okay, so might be like you can specify. This is my old one. I did not implemented it. So just specify the highlights of your career. Okay, so what highlights you have done. Okay, so what area you are expert. Okay, so if given a chance, like you can prove them. Okay, so like that. Okay, so it's just a one line, like one page document. So you need to display your career highlights. Okay, so about like what areas you are expert on it. Okay, and if it matches with the job description, you can tell like these things, it's matching with the job description, and so I'll be fit for it. Okay, so it's a one line document for the HR representative for scheduling interviews, guys. Okay, so those two are mandatory for any level. Okay, and then like, so in order to get more attractive towards it, okay, so we need to have a GitHub and LinkedIn profile. Okay, so LinkedIn profile is mandatory, guys. So if you don't have an account, just create it today. Okay, so like Facebook or Instagram, okay, LinkedIn is mandatory for IT professionals. So you need to have a LinkedIn profile, and you need to have a very good uh friend circle. Okay, like so you can have it. Okay, so we can create a LinkedIn profile, and you need to have a well drafted LinkedIn profile. Okay, so you need to have, so pretty simple with it. Okay, so for example, okay, okay, so you need to like establish to the like HRs or anything. Okay, so over it's implementing. Okay, just keep the profile simple. Okay, and okay, so it should have all the information. Okay, like what you have in your resume, so it should reflect here as well. Okay, so it should provide the full detail about the job description. Okay, like what you are going to do and what you are doing, and like the companies you worked. Okay, and your education qualification and your certification. Okay, and the skill set. Okay, so like what skill set you are using. Okay, and if someone use like using it. Okay, so you can use this for recommendation. Okay, like for example, so there are a lot of folks has provided recommendation. Okay, so I have done a great job for them. Okay, they have helped them. Okay, so I have received so much recommendation. Okay, this will be so kind of attractive. Okay, like if someone is help giving you, or like, so just to give you. Okay, so I can say like, see, so it'll give you more credit for the thing. Okay, so this is again say like, okay, so one of a very important step. Okay, like kind of languages, all this. Okay, so might be like you can spend some time and start doing it. Okay, and here also like you can have your resumes, all this. I don't have it, but if you are actively looking for a job, you can have that resumes, and also like you can apply for a job. Okay, for example, I will give you a tip. Okay, so for example, if you're going to apply for this particular job, okay, so you can have the details. Okay, like when it is posted. Okay, and who has posted it. Okay, sometimes like you'll have the information of HR. Okay, so who has posted this job. Okay, uh so this is not posted, you don't get the HR information, but some companies, okay, you can get the information of HR who has posted this opportunity. So what you can do is like you can ping them and you can ask for the opportunities. Okay, so you can say like I have seen this job description. Okay, and so might be you can connect to that particular team, and you can say like my skill set is matching with this particular job, so can you help in scheduling an interview. Okay, so then say out of 10, like, or out of like 100 people, you will be getting a first preference case. Okay, so this is one of a key thing. Okay, like you will get just details. Okay, like, okay, so that will be, but you can follow with, for example, if you want to know about, okay, like the which HRS, then okay, so we can go to that particular link, GFT HRs. Okay, so you'll be having those HR contact. Okay, like then you can ping them and see. Okay, so like, so you can do that as well. Like you can do the filtering and doing all these options. Okay, so that's on a LinkedIn, guys, and you need to have a GitHub, a Bitbucket profile. Okay, this is also one of the key thing. Okay, so either of this will works. Okay, so I have both accounts. Okay, like I have given, I guess, Bitbucket in my resumes. Okay, so this is also will be a key, guys. Okay, so you need to have this. You can just give this thing. Okay, so what they will do is like, see, like it will give you all the details. Okay, so when you joined. Okay, like what are the repos you are using. Okay, what is, how you are maintaining it. Okay, like what are the commit status. Okay, all this. Okay, so it will have this, like what are the languages you have used in your profile. Okay, so what are the tools or languages you used there. Okay, So all the information, okay, like you will be getting, okay. So like this information will be captured from the repositories you have, okay. So this will give you highlight, okay. So yeah, this guy is currently like um very active on it, and is doing a self learning on it, okay, all this, okay. So like my, you see, like I have two profiles, okay. So this is very limited, so like it's give a plus, okay. So other one is like a plus plus, yeah. So it depends on how you are going to like work on it, okay. So total commits in 2023 is 95. So I have committed within 15 days. I have committed 95 times, okay. So see, like this, like it increases, okay. Like for example, if you're working, so you can commit it, okay. So you can have this kind of profiles. So you'll be like you'll have the edge over the other candidates, okay. So this is again, so this will be mandatory for like 5+ years candidates case, and 10+ years candidates, definitely you have to have this. If you don't have it, try to have it, okay. So this will be one of a very effective factor for it. And again, less than 5 years, it's optional. So but it's good to have it, guys, okay. So the first two will be mandatory for everyone. The and LinkedIn also, it's kind of mandatory, I can say. The Bitbucket and so less than 5. So if you are good to gap, and more than like if you have more than 5 years of experience, definitely like you know to have this. So so we'll be teaching everything, guys, okay. It's not only about the course, okay. So yeah, everything will be covering in our regular thing, okay, in the CDD programs, okay. So we'll help you, also guide you to get a job. And also like, so once you settle there, like if you have any difficulties, like so we have a trained specialist to help you on those areas, and guide you to do the jobs, okay. So that's how like we have designed the program. And so it's, I can say, like it will be kind of a very interactive sessions, like we have planned, okay. Like it will be most likely since this topic is more on slides, like I have gone with the slides. But uh, mostly like we will touch only, like we'll be doing a lot of programs, a lot of hands-on sessions. For example, like you can, it's kind of pair programming, okay. So if I'll be discussing on topic, I'll be like asking you to implement that. And if you have doubts, you guys can share the screen, and so we will work together and we can solve the issue. That's how the program is designed. And uh, so it's and it covers all the details. Yeah. Okay, cool. How much of Java should you learn? Okay, I can say like basis of Java is more than enough. Okay, so in order to learn it, okay. So 0 to 1 years of experience, Suresh, you want to know whatever the base. Okay, like I can say like you want to know the entire topics, whatever we discussed, like at least the Java and the Selenium part you want to know. Like that will be again what is base core Java. Okay, it's core Java, like what might be estimation time of completion about the course. The course is for like 9 weeks. It's a 9 weeks program. Any doubts, guys? Like any questions on tools, or like, so any doubts on the career path? Yeah, like I will ask Ritika, like you are there, Rishika, like
Yeah, Vignesh.
yeah, like a lot of
Yeah,
people
so
are asking about
course
the
fees,
yeah.
yeah, you can, we have already provided the link over the chat window.
Might be,
You
can you
can
ping
go
again,
to,
Rishika, like the details? Yeah,
pardon.
like everyone is asking to the link again. So can you paste the link again?
Okay, yeah, sure. I'm pasting that link again, and I'm, showing that PPT also again, so that you
Yeah,
can
sure,
get
sure. You
the
can share
idea
your
about
screen and might be discuss
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, just a moment, just a moment. You'll get the idea about the course fees and the next batch, which is going to start from 15th of January.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So might be I will ask few questions. Okay, like okay, just give me 2 minutes, Rishika, like before starting. Yeah, you can share the slides. That's fine. Yeah. So
Sure.
Cypress, yeah, Cypress is faster, but it has limitations. I can say like, so if you want to be unique in a field, you can learn Cypress or Playwright. Yeah, definitely. At one moment, like it will be like end of selenium. Okay, but right now it's not like reached that stage. So might be like after 2 or 3 years, might be like in around 2025 we can discuss. So might be like it can be a close comparison to selenium, but right now Cypress is still a kid to selenium. I can say like it does not reach that level to match selenium. Yeah, but like as I said earlier, Cypress and Playwright is one of a much like new tool in a market, and you can learn it. So both has the potential to replace selenium in future. And for API testing, we can do with selenium, like Cypress and Playwright itself. We don't need any other tool. If you're using selenium, rest assured will be the obvious choice for Java combination. Like that, okay, we have, so similarly like in Python we have request, and C sharp it's like um, sharp, rest sharp. Okay, so each one has the things. Okay. So yeah, like we'll be covering the entire thing, okay, starting from Java, okay, like learning the basics of Java, like we'll be covering a full-fledged core Java, okay, like whatever we are discussed, we'll have those things, okay, like we will be seeing a lot of programs associated to each topics, and then like we'll be having a Selenium, okay, and then we'll be covering how to create a framework from a scratch on both TDD and a BDD, okay, so we'll be seeing a hybrid framework on both things. And also we will be discussing on the rest assured libraries, okay, how we can do a API testing, okay, and so we'll be seeing the CI/CD, and all this we'll be seeing.
So Vignesh, I'll interrupt in between. Guys, I have already unmuted you all. You guys can unmute yourself now and ask the questions one by one.
So, yeah.
I mean, if you want, you can type your question in the chat window also, or either you can ask your queries by unmuting yourself.
Hi. So I have a question. Like, in case if you're stuck during any part of the course, so what kind of support we can expect?
Yeah, like see, definitely like before each session we'll have like kind of a query session, okay, so we'll be spending 15 to 20 minutes, and it's not like everyone will be muted on session, guys, okay, it will be a interactive session, okay, like you can ask, for example, if I we complete a topic, that you will be on, like you are supposed to ask the questions after that, okay, there is no way like you will be backward on that particular topic. So we'll be having a very good interactive session, and also like we'll have the exercises after that, okay, for example, if I complete a topic on loops, so I'll be giving 3 to 4 exercises. It's not I, like we have a team, okay, I'm just giving myself. So we'll be giving 3 to 4 exercises around that topic. So until you are comfortable, like you can take that, and so might be like if you have a doubt, you can share the screen, and so we can able to guide you. So that's how the courses is designed. It's more like a pair programming and more like an hands-on session. It's not like just going through a slides and teaching it, okay, it's like going in depth of each topic and exploring it and learning it. So that's how the course is designed. Yeah, the courses is on weekend, guys, okay, and so if we have a weekday model as well, might be like you can reach out the team so they can guide you on it. So this the course whatever we are planned, it's only for weekends, and we have weekday batch as well, might be you can reach them, and you can enroll as well. Yeah,
Hi,
Python is
Vignesh.
all. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, hi.
Uh, During the course, will there be any hands-on training provided?
Yeah, it will be fully hands-on training, okay, like so starting from the first topic, it will be fully hands-on session. So there is, I can say like 10 to 20% theoretical and 80% on hands-on, okay, so it will be full of hands-on only. So we will be starting from the installation, it will be full of hands-on only. So we will,
Oh,
I will be we'll be just giving you the like contents, okay, like theoretical part. So we'll go through it, but mostly we'll be writing the programs on the IDEs. Okay, so it will be most likely, I can say like more than 80% it will be hands-on on it.
thank you, Vignesh.
Yeah.
Sir, one question. I just joined for the session for the free interview preparation masterclass. So that's the reason I joined. Sir, my interview fixed in Infosys in 3 years experience basis, software testing automation, Selenium. So I just want to some interview questions for your tips from your side, how to deal with some. So because I faced 4 interviews already, but not selected in that. So any some interview tips you can give me?
Yeah, like interview tips means like, okay, say like you need to like like see again, you need to list down like where you are stopping, okay, like where you are like rejecting. Okay, so you want to understand that, okay, if you are coming out on the first round, so you are not technically sound on the topics, okay, because for less than 3 to 5 years experience, okay, they will be concentrately on topics. Okay, so for example, if like there is a question on in the interface, so you want to know what is interface, how to implement it, where it can be used. Okay, you want to give all the details. Okay, you want to give with an examples. Okay, so that's the first level of interviews. Okay, the first round will be more likely kind of like you want to know the concept. The second round, it will be more technical. Okay, in some companies they will ask you to write code. So that will be the second round. Okay, so if you are rejecting on that particular rounds, you want to know about like, so the inner part, like, so how to effectively you want to write it. Okay, because each company will have a different uh like interview process. Okay, so the first rounds for some companies there will be like multiple choice questions. Okay, just some companies it will be like kind of 30 minutes interview session. So each one will have a different sets. Okay, so like whatever we have discussed now. Okay, so if you prepare like the Selenium or like the manual automation part like Java manual and Selenium, definitely like
Yes.
for less than 5 years it's more than enough to survey and you can easily get in the job. So you need to be very confident at the time of interview and you need to have a very good communication. These two things only we will look as such, because so we will be looking on a candidate. Okay, if we hire a particular candidate, whether he can able to learn, you need to show the interest, like you can able to learn it. Okay, that's what like we will be looking as a interview. That's what I'll be looking.
Or I think whenever they asked the last interview, they asked me the 30 questions. I delivered the 20 questions. So it is matter to all and each every question you answer that the interview asks.
No,
So it is
see,
also
it depends on the interviewer. Okay, like see, all the fingers are not same. Okay, so it depends on the interviewer. Okay, so like some again, okay, so I'm giving in my perspective. Okay, if I'm an interviewer, okay, if you are able to like, so I'll be looking on some key questions. Okay, out of 30, so I will have at least 10 to 5 questions as a key questions. Okay, so if you're able to answer this question, you can definitely work. So I have that level of questions. If you're able to answer that, so I'll be okay. I can say like, yeah, this kind can be like move to the next round, might be like there we can have the rejection as well. Okay, so might be 50-50 chances will be there. So see, like based on the questions or based on that, like no one will reject. Okay, so it's just like how the attitude, how like you're answering. And so again, for example, like out of 30, might be like 1 or 2 questions like you would have asked in the area you would have not answered. Okay, might be like kind of key questions. Okay, so might be related to the project. Okay, so might be like is you would have like asked the question for a particular project. Okay, so if you're not able to know, for example, like the project that deals with API, you don't know anything on API, means definitely we can't hire you. So everything matters.
yes. They asked me on database testing, and I am not involved in database testing, or I'm not aware about that. So I know SQL commands, but I say okay, I'm not available. I'm not a part of the database testing. So also that's the reason they give me an feedback. So
Yeah,
this is
that's
what.
what I'm telling, right? So it differs. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, like so the course completion, you yeah, go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
Then side. So actually, I want to scrape the data from any profile like LinkedIn and Naukri or any job portal profile. So for that, we need to select all the information of the any candidate. So how you are going to handle this situation in script? Like how you are going to track all the information of that particular candidate. Let's say example, if I am opening your profile and I want to all the information from of your for your profile. So how you are going to handle in Selenium?
See, so that will be a big question to answer. Yeah. So like we have a web scraping as a separate tool. Okay. So like Selenium is just an automation tool. Okay, we can able to scrap the data, but it's not a effective tool to scrap everything. Okay. So we have a lot of web scrapper available, so we can use that option to do it. Okay. So see. So like I can say like so you are looking as a recruitment point of view point. So we'll have a tool. Okay, like we'll have an inbuilt tool to do that. Okay, so we'll have those a separate thing. But like Selenium is not a tool, a right tool to use as a web scrapper. That's what I can say. So not because it's an automation tool. Like whatever we looked, it's more like an automation tool. Selenium or Cypress or Playwright. We just concentrate on an automation perspective. There are a lot of Python based tools available. It's like you don't need to write a lot of logics around it to scrap it as well.
Okay, so any tool name like so that I can look on that.
Sorry, like I not get it.
Any tool name? I don't have much information for the scrapping. So you have any idea about that tool name?
Yeah, like so you have popular library with Python itself. Okay, like so soap you can use. Okay, like you can use a request also. Like so that also can help you on it. There are a lot of just go to PYPI site. Okay, so this is a site. I guess I'm not sharing it. PYPI. Okay,
Okay.
please mute
And
ourselves, guys. Okay. So this is the Python library site. Okay, like you can go to the site and you can look for Scrapper, and you will be getting a lot of libraries around it. So whichever is suitable for your case, you can do it.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, serving notice period. Yeah, like if it is not a very big gap, so definitely like after completing the course, you can able to get into it. And so with this, actually, like you have the full confidence of attending an interview. Okay, so like whatever we have tried, okay, almost all the candidates got placed, and so you don't have those doubts. Like we don't need any support, placement supports. Okay, you can yourself be able to do it. Like you don't need to pay for that because so you'll have those confidence. We are going to give you those confidence to attend any interviews. Okay, and so definitely like this course going to help you guys. Like yeah, Maria and Sri, like this will be one of the you can able to get into like after the course. Definitely you can able to get into a job. Any other questions, guys?
Sure. Thanks, Vignesh. It's quite very informative. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Sri. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Vignesh, for the wonderful session. And thank you, all of you, for attending this session. We appreciate all of you being here. Every month, guys, we are conducting such webinars. So you can follow us on our LinkedIn channel and Facebook to get the latest updates on the upcoming webinars. Also, you guys can provide your valuable feedback to us on Google reviews and Trustpilot, and it will really gonna help us, if you provide us, it will take just not more than a minute to provide feedback on these platforms. So guys, please go there and provide your valuable feedback to us. And thank you for attending this session. I have already displayed this slide on my screen, and here the discounts are being displayed, that there is a special 10% on spot offer which is valid till 15th of January. If you guys wants to enroll for the course, you can avail this offer, and we have already shared the link with you on the chat window. You can check that out, and you go through our website and check the details. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Vignesh, for the wonderful session.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks all.
Ruchika, for organizing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Rishika, and thanks all. Have a great career, guys. All the best. So you guys can reach us like for any questions or any doubts in future as well. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thank you. All right, bye.
Hey, hi, Sachin and Fernando. Are you here? Hello, can you guys see me? Hello.